So wait a minute. Let's talk about Britney for a second. But like, you saved her from like a really bad mishap. Like, she almost had a Janet Jackson nipplage, right? You saved her from that.
Janet Jackson nipplage moments.
Okay, Zach, we've talked about Britney a little bit, but you know, people, when she first came out, people were like, oh, she is throwing down. Like, she danced hard. Like, and that wasn't, you know, I think we were sort of used to like a little like Janet Jackson, like sort of doing the moves in the front a little bit, and then all of a sudden during, when she's not singing, really doing a break, right? But then like Britney comes and she's like, hey man, baby. I mean, she's also singing like this, so whatever. You like went through it on that tour.
God, yeah. Yeah, Britney's shows, Brooke knows, like Brooke's danced for her. Their dance shows, you know, it's always a big production. Same with like Madonna, or you know, I gotta say these two are like two of my dance idols. So I just love
know. It's ridiculous. All of you are here at once is ridiculous to me.
And yeah, so this show was insane. I was the assistant choreographer on Piece of Me as well with the Squared Division, and I remember just rehearsing, choreographing it with Dan. And just assisting him and just being like, the dancer's gonna need some time off stage, right? Like, this isn't exactly how it's gonna go. Like, we're gonna teach them this and then we're gonna work out when people get their breaks, right? Because at the moment, everybody's in everything. And they're like, well, that's what they want. And I'm like, but you know, dancers can't do that. So I've been on a few tours, you know, and the most I'd ever done, I think, was 13 numbers. And that was an intense show. And then Britney comes. We rehearsed for 3 months. We did 26 numbers, full numbers, 26 numbers. In a 97-minute show, I think we danced for 82 minutes. And in that, however many minutes that is off stage, 15 minutes, we had 4 costume changes. And it literally, like, if we weren't in a number, we were on stage moving a prop. Like, me against the music, I was pushing around
Why?
Dancing, I'd be like, ugh. And you know, at this stage, I'm 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. I would get to that point in the show where I'd be like, ugh. I was just like, oh. Act 7 was 23 minutes, 7 numbers. I came on stage, I didn't leave to the end. And you know, your lips getting stuck on your gums, and sometimes I would have a little chuck. So it rained in our show in an homage to Dream Within a Dream. The rain would come down, and the rain track had like a pit where the water went through, so I'd throw up into that little pit. And it was a water spew, do you know what I mean? It was like a dry reach water spew. I hadn't eaten anything. I couldn't eat before that show. I was naked the whole show.
This is literally my nightmare. You are like describing my nightmare. This is like not eating, being on stage and moving around for 87 minutes straight, like exerting myself to the end. That you've described my nightmare. So wait a minute. Let's talk about Britney for a second. But like, you saved her from like a really bad mishap. Like, she almost had a Janet Jackson nipplage, right? You saved her from that.
Janet Jackson nipplage moments. There was always a wardrobe malfunction. When you're doing 250 shows, you know, things are going to go wrong. But there was a couple of times where her costume would come undone. There was this one time she wore this halter neck. She came down and everybody kept like trying to do it up, and they'd do it up and she'd dance and it would snap, and she was just like holding a thing, and it was like the 3rd time, and this is like 5 minutes in, and she still couldn't get it done. And I was like, fuck this. And so I literally I take my shirt off and I go up to her and I put my shirt on, I button it up and tie it up, and I'm like, put her in my costume, and I like saved the day. And I got on.
Did the audience go crazy?
I don't know. I was like, I had such an adrenaline rush, but I was like, you always look after the artist, right? Like,
that is so cool.
So I literally get the shirt off my back, and I still have that shirt. I'm like, one day, if I'm ever broke, I can sell that, you know?
Yes, you can.
So if anybody wants to buy a second-hand shirt worn by Britney, just kidding.
I love that you have it. That's so amazing. Well, listen, I would want you by my side, Zach. So let's toast to Zach, the best wingman ever. Thank you, Dance Dish. Yes. Helene.
Dance.
Dance Dish. Dance Dish.
Work it, yes. 5, 6, 7, 8.